Dear cadets, a very good morning to you all. Hope all of you are fine at your home. Today, it's the first class with you that I'm going to take via online. Our today's topic is modifiers. Cadets, it's a new topic for you. First of all, you need to know what modifier is. A modifier is a word, phrase, or clause which modifies other words in a sentence. To be specific, a modifier is either an adjective or an adverb. The adjectives modify the nouns and the adverbs modify the verbs or the adjectives or the other adverbs. Dear cadets, it's just the rules of course of speech that you already know, that adjectives modify nouns and nothing else, while adverbs modify verb, adjectives, or adverbs. So let's see an example of modifier. First of all, see the sentence. He bought a chocolate cake yesterday. Here you see A is an article, okay? You all know that. So this A modifies the term chocolate cake, okay? And here chocolate also modifies the term cake. So chocolate is the direct adjective of the word cake and A also modifies cake. That means A and chocolate are modifiers of the term cake. Again, the word yesterday. Yesterday denotes time. That is the time of action. So here, which part of speech is it? You know that. This is adverb. And this adverb is also modifier, which modifies the verb. That is, this yesterday modifies the verb bought. That is, the action of buying is modified by yesterday. That is the time of action. Okay. Again, if you say, Jaima, the president's daughter, is very sick. Here, the phrase president's daughter modifies the noun Jaima. Here, Jaima is a proper noun and the president's daughter modifies this proper noun. But here the whole phrase, the president's daughter, becomes an adjective as it modifies Jaima, that is the noun. And there is also another adjective, that is sick. This sick has also modified Jaima, that is noun. And again, the term very is adjective here and adverb here, and this adverb has modified the term adjective, that is sick. Dear cadets, remember one thing, this term very is called intensifier, because if you see or if you say that Jaima is sick, that is, he is normally sick. And in order to intensify his sickness, if you say that she is very sick, at that very moment, this very is working as an intensifier here. Okay. Now come to the point, that is, how many types of modifiers are there? Actually, according to the position of the words, modifiers are of two types. At first, pre-modifiers, that is, which stands before the word, and post-modifiers, that stands after the word. Now, we need to know what pre-modifier is. Pre-modifier is the modifier which modifies the words that follow them in the sentence. Conventionally, the adjectives are usually placed before the nouns. So, most of the adjectives are pre-modifiers. And adverbs are often placed before the words they modify. When adverbs are placed before the words, then those adverbs are called pre-modifiers. Okay. So you need to know what the pre-modifiers are. They can be articles, they can be determiners, they can be demonstratives, proper adjectives, descriptive adjectives, compound adjectives, participles, etc. Because these words modify nouns and they are placed before the nouns. There are also some other terms that are used as pre-modifiers like conjunctive adverbs, sentence adverbs, and some other adverbs that can work being placed before the verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. Dear cadets, now let's give some explanation of these terms. Articles. You all know what articles are. They are A, N, D. And then determiners. What are the determiners? Determiners include articles, that is A and D, and then those terms which determine some amount or something, like that is if you say some, any, then much, more, etc., then those are called determiners. Then demonstratives. These are that is words, that is these, that, those, etc. And the other words, you already know that. Next, let's give some examples of pre-modifiers. Suppose if you say, generally the brown dogs are nice. Here, the term generally is adverb, the is article, brown is descriptive adjective. Here, all these terms, generally, the, brown, are used as pre-modifiers here in order to modify the term dogs. Next, apparently that bank has a lot of security process. Here, apparently is adverb, that is demonstrative, a lot of is determiner, security is adjective. Here see one thing, cadets. Security is normally noun, right? You already know that. But as this noun has already modified the term process, so security is no more noun here, rather it is adjective here, and it has pre-modified the term process. Okay. Next, if you say, give me that black covered shining box. Here, that is the demonstrative, black is descriptive adjective, covered past participle, that is which is also working as adjective, shining is present participle, this is also working as adjective. Dear cadets, you need to keep these terms in your mind because in the question you will have, that is, suppose there can come, write down the adverb or write down the determiners or write down the demonstrative or descriptive adjective or past participle or present participle like this. So in which place you need to use which terms, that you need to keep it in your mind. Next, we need to know what post modifiers are. Post modifiers are the modifiers which come after the words they modify. Customarily, The adverbs come after the verbs and modify them. You all know that. And however, some adjectives also come after the nouns and modify them. Here, most of the adverbs of time, adverbs of manner, adverbs of place or duration usually come after the verbs they modify. And appositives, prepositional phrases like adjectives or adverbs, infinitives like adverbs or adjectives, dependent clause, etc. usually come after the nouns they modify. As for example, if you say, Mashrafi, a cricketer, has been selected in the squad. See, dear cadets, here Mashrafi is a proper noun, right? And a cricketer. This cricketer is also noun, but by the term a cricketer, we understand the profession or job of Mashrafi, right? So, as it is indicating or as it is defining the proper noun Mashrafi, so a cricketer is adjective. And in this way, placing an adjective after a noun is called appositive. Okay? And you need to keep it in your mind that after the noun there will be a comma, and after finishing the appositive there will again come a comma. Okay? And then you see in the squad, this is an adverb, okay? Because this is indicating a place, and you all know that if the place indicates only the noun or only the name, then that place is called noun. But if you indicate something else, like that is somewhere, at that time that noun becomes adverb. So squad can be a noun, but in the squad is adverb or adverbial phrase. Okay. Then you can see the next example, that is Mr. Russell, our teacher, gives us tasks to do in the class. Here our teacher is an appositive. Then to do is infinitive, and in the class, that is adverb of place. That is here in the class is similar to in the squad. Okay, I hope you're clear about this point. Then Ronaldo, the captain of Portugal team, plays exceptionally well. Here the captain of Portugal team is appositive, and this exceptionally well, that is adverb of manner. So those were the examples of post modifiers. I hope I could make you clear about the topic. Next, come to the point, that is dangling modifiers. Dear cadets, dangling is a term that denotes something which is hanging or which is swinging or which is just in between. That is not absolute. That is just swinging loosely. And modifier stands for person or thing that makes partial or minor changes to something. So, a dangling modifier is a modifier which makes the meaning of a sentence to swing. That is, dangling modifier does not mean a sentence properly. You will be puzzled, you will be confused if you see dangling modifier, because you'll not be able to identify which one is subject. So the meaning becomes incomplete. That is, no complete meaning comes here. If I make you clearer about the point, I can say that according to English grammar, a dangling modifier is a word or phrase that modifies a word not clearly stated in the sentence. In other words, If a modifier modifies different word rather than the targeted one, it will be called dangling modifier. If the modifier of a sentence doesn't modify the correct noun or pronoun, then the meaning of the sentence can be changed, right? And there are some particular grammatical structures or phrases or clauses in which dangling modifiers occur. Let's know about those. At first, you can see the example of present participle or participle phrase. Here, if we use dangling modifier, that one becomes incorrect. That is, if you say, entering the room, the light was off. Dear cadets, you see, at first, the part is entering the room. So who has entered the room? Someone has entered the room, right? Either you or I or someone else. So you need to clarify the point. So just after saying entering the room, if you say the light was off, here the subject is light. So does this subject indicate the subject of the first part? That is, can you say that the light was entering the room and the light was off? Is it true? Is it correct? No, it is never correct. So it becomes incomplete, right? For this very reason, if you want to make it correct, you need to say, entering the room, I found the light off. See, dear cadets, here, as you have used the subject I, so it clarifies the point that I have entered the room and I found the light off, right? I think then the meaning becomes clear. Next, if you say about past participle or past participle phrase, here it will be incorrect if you say, tired and exhausted, a nap was taken by the passerby. Dear cadets, see, a nap, that is the short sleep. Is the nap tired and exhausted, or the passerby is tired and exhausted? Definitely the passerby, right? Never ever nap can be tired and exhausted. Rather, if we become tired and exhausted, then we take a nap. So, we need to use the proper subject, the correct subject. And for that very reason, we need to say, tired and exhausted, the passerby took a nap. Okay, I hope then the point becomes clear. Next, come to the next example, that is perfect participle. Here, do you know what perfect participle is? It is, for perfect tense, what do you need to use? Have, has, or had. So, for perfect participle, you will use having, and then after having, you need to use the past participle form of the verb. So here, the incorrect sentence for using the dangling modifier, we see that having arrived late for practice, a written excuse was needed. Here also see, the subject is not clear in the first part, that is having arrived late for practice. And so we need to make it correct and say, having arrived late for practice, the team captain needed a written excuse. So if we give the term the team captain, then we see that the meaning becomes complete and clear to us. Dear cadets, that's all for today. Hope I could make all the points clear. Still now, if you have any problem, if you face any query, at the time you must ask me. You have comment section. You write down those comments in the next class. I will try to answer all of your queries. So far, stay fun, stay safe, do not go outside, enjoy your vacation, and study seriously.